if you would please put your palms together for a meditation reading. The faults of others are easy to see, but our own faults are difficult to recognize. If one sees that he has a fault, he must realize that the fault must be very grave indeed for him to recognize it himself. Thus, he must take steps to correct his fault. Because it is difficult for us to see many of our faults, we should listen to the advice of others. From Renyo Shonin, if you would please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu. We continuously hear the word mindfulness. Not to get confused with mind full of stuff, but mindfulness. And generally the dictionary says that mindfulness is maintaining a moment by moment awareness of thoughts and feelings, bodily sensations, and surroundings, our surroundings, through a gentle, nurturing lens. It is also our thoughts tune into what we are sensing in the present moment, rather than rehashing past or living the future. It's also paying full attention to something, slowing down to really notice what one is doing. That's a general definition. But mindfulness in the Eightfold Path of our teaching says its right mindfulness is to cherish a good mind. For all that we think and do has its roots in the mind. So there are two meanings. The general definition means awareness, as with the Eightfold Path means to cherish a good mind, which is our teachings. And if you think about our teaching, what's one of them? One of them is the golden chain, which I feel encompasses all the elements of what mindfulness is. We're conscious at times of how we think, act, and see others. But how much conscious is it that we truly listen to people? When someone is talking to us or talking with us, are we really present with them? Are we mindful to them? Or are we drifting off and thinking of other things? And one thought could be, when is this person ever going to stop talking? And I was thinking about this mindfulness. We toss it around like we toss rocks in a garden. But I think to be mindful is to truly focus, to truly pay attention to a specific person, a specific speech, or just sitting and listening. Listening to the world outside, listening to whoever we are with. Not drifting off, not looking elsewhere, but truly looking and listening. You know, our golden chain teaches us to be mindful in being able to, in being gentle and kind to others, as well as protecting them. It's also being mindful of our thoughts, because sometimes we can let those thoughts slip and come through our words. And so our words are not mindful. So, yes, we all have different opinions. And we want to be able to discuss. Yet we have to also be mindful of listening to the other person, even though we may disagree with that person. But without all the facts, and without them finishing their discussion, how are we to really know what they're saying? We just want to be impatient, and we just want to jump in there and correct them. Well, who are we to correct them? It's their thoughts. But by truly listening to them, truly hearing what they're saying, maybe our opinion, our discussion with them can help them change their views also. But we have to look at it with an open-mindedness. Maybe that's what mindfulness is, open-mindedness. Or just being aware of others, not making judgments on them, but being aware of them at that time. When I go into a grocery store, which seems to be my main activity nowadays, is when I cross in front of someone. It's always being mindful of what I'm blocking their view and what they're looking at. So it's always, excuse me, I'm sorry, may I go by? And 9 times out of 10, they will say, oh yeah, please. So I'm trying to be mindful without being greedy or using my anger or become impatient. So mindfulness involves many, many factors. And we say we're mindful, but are we? And it's human nature to not always be mindful of others. Being aware of what we say, how we act. And yes, we are not always going to agree with someone. We're not always going to get along with them. Well, we have a choice. We can be very mindful of them and we can be aware of them. And the second one is to totally ignore them. But with mindfulness, is that possible? Ignoring something with mindfulness? I ask you, is it our greed, our anger, and our ignorance that takes away our mindfulness from the situation, from that moment? I ask you. And it's always Namu Amida Butsu to bring us back. It is always Namu Amida Butsu to help us to find what our right mindfulness is. If you would please, put your palms together for Gasho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.